Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, July 13th, 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning we are again talking with our friends from A Squared SBDC, Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center. And it's our twice monthly segment with the wonderful folks there. This morning with us, we are very pleased to have Head of Pre-Funding, Kenron Braynen, and Business Analyst, Alicia Murphy. Good morning, everybody. Great to have you with us.
Good morning.
So we teach a lot of different things through the program, this set series. So one of those things are pricing and costing. So that's an important thing. You want to make money. You want to know how to manage your money, how to manage your costs. So it doesn't matter what your why is. We're going to give you the tools you need to implement that idea.
I think the only thing that I'd add there is that everyone has to start from somewhere. So, a lot of our prospective entrepreneurs, they come in and they just have a dream. They think that entrepreneurship is, or they have a very flowery idea of what entrepreneurship is. They don't understand the hard work, the dedication, the sleepless nights, the toil that's associated with launching your own business and actually keeping that business working and keeping it growing. I think what the SET series does most of all is actually it marries the passion for entrepreneurship with the actual real facts behind what it is that you do every day.
Tell us a little bit more about that first session, like who was the speaker and kind of what the attendance was like.
Right. So for our first session, we had 50 individuals in person. On the virtual. We can have up to 300 individuals attend. We had an entrepreneur, one of our clients that have already been funded, Mr. Simonet. He's an Eleuthera-based client. So he has a farm, Apple Whole Farm. So he was able to talk about how he got started, how he's been successful, and how he's managing his operations.
Wow.
And what was his why?
What was his why? Well, he really has a passion for farming, being from the Family Islands especially. So what he was doing was very beneficial to him. He said his parents, especially his father, played a role in that as well.
You said Apple
Whole Farm.
Whole Farm. Okay. It's about apples?
Pineapples.
Pineapples. Okay.
I was wondering myself.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Pineapple.
Makes
That's
sense.
great.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man.
He's also a livestock farmer as well. I think the thing for him in his messaging, one of the more interesting things is the passion that you have to have for the things that you do when you move into entrepreneurship. So in this case, hearing him talk about, whether it was the crops or the animals that he was raising, I think the thing that was infectious and very tangible in the room is the fact that he loves this farm. And I think more than anything else, when you're an entrepreneur, you're not always going to be making a whole lot of money. Sometimes the clients may not be coming or they may not be the most fun to deal with. But the thing that drives you every day, that keeps you there, is the passion behind it. And I think he really, really, really communicated that to us last night.
Yeah. All right. So what else can we expect over the next few, the series?
Right. So the series is every Tuesday, and every Thursday we have an Ask an Advisor session. So this week, Mr. Brandon, myself, and Mr. Roll from Post Funding, we're going to be taking questions from all of our clients. Once you get on our website and go into that set series tab, you can put in your questions in advance. But for the next series on Tuesday, we're going to be talking about branding. So we have another one of our funded clients who's going to come in and give some conversation, take some questions about branding and how you could maximize your business, whether your potential already there with branding.
Yeah. What are you seeing so far as some of the frequently asked questions?
Well, one of the main questions that we always get is how can you get funded? Because, people know Access Accelerator for providing access to funding, but we don't want that to be our sole message and mission. What we do is more than that. We are very focused on education, like we see through our SET series, also very focused on advocacy. So through our partnerships with various individuals and even private entities like Royal Caribbean Group, we try to do our best to make sure that anyone that comes through our doors gets a robust experience in business services.
Yeah.
I would also add there as well that, like Alicia talked about, advocacy. Another part of what we do is also business development. So if you come into our doors, you don't have a business plan, maybe you're an existing business and you haven't been keeping financials. All of these different bits and pieces that go together to actually create the reporting side and also the functional sides of your business, we actually help to develop and fund actually some parts of it.
Yeah. Well, why? So again, tell us if people are hearing this and like, yeah, I definitely need to be a part of this, what they can do now. You said to go to the website.
They can go to our website. The address is www.accessaccelerator.org. And once they click the Join Us tab, they go ahead and there's some initial information that they need to fill out there. And once they fill out that information, they actually are contacted by one of our team members. Additionally, they can also send us a WhatsApp or call us at 359-0626 or 359-2394.
Well, all right. And how many opportunities are people going to have to be doing this? Some are, winding it down. We're getting through it very quickly.
Yeah, the series is for 15 weeks. So we're going to go into, I believe, mid-October.
Yeah,
So
okay.
everyone has an opportunity to sign up and join any one of the sessions that they would be interested in.
Excellent.
But the pitch competitions are different.
Yes, so that's based on capacity, meeting individuals that sign up to be a participant or a competitor. But it's going to be an exciting environment.
But I think for the pitch competition, you have to be an existing business.
Not necessarily.
Oh,
You can
okay.
be a new startup, but once you're prepared to meet before our judges, whoever the panel may be, it's going to be good. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So great opportunities. In addition to funding, you get that business exposure.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So you talked about funding, the guaranteed loan program. Let's talk about that and what people need to know at this time about it.
The guaranteed loan program is actually the flagship program for the Access Accelerator. Essentially, in that program, clients will go through one of three steps to actually getting access to the funding. So if you come in and you don't have a business plan at all, you don't really understand entrepreneurship in general, we will start you on an educational pathway, which will take a little bit longer. The second way of joining that particular program is if you were to come in with a business plan. We go ahead, we take the business plan from you, and we have members of our internal team review the plan for correctness, for viability of the business and some other critical areas. And then we move you on to the final stage, which is actually a meeting with our investment committee where we get the final approval for the guarantee. The third way of actually matriculating through this program is through our business plan writing program. This program actually allows clients to have a business plan written for them. The SBDC will defray a part of the cost up to a maximum of $500, sorry. And the business plan will actually be written by an actual professional business plan writer.
Yeah. And how important is that? Is that professional business plan?
I think it's the business plan in general is the most important part of your business. We have some clients that are brave enough to go ahead and write it themselves.
Don't do it. Take my advice. Don't do it.
And there are some very, very critical considerations in the business plan. It can be quite the complicated endeavor. If you have access to a professional, we would say have the professional at least help you do it.
You can't Google it and like copy a template or something. Doesn't work like that. No,
don't do it.
Copy paste.
Definitely.
Let's explore this a little more because people are thinking like, oh, this can't be that difficult. I know what I want. I know. And I talk to my friends and they say they like this and I'm going to do this. This is my business. What's the big deal?
I think the critical misnomer about writing a business plan is just that it's very, very simple. It's basic. You have some basic parts that you just fill out and it's fine. The reality is that everything that drives the success of your business comes from that plan. So when you look at the market that you want to approach, actually quantifying what that market is, how many people are actually interested in the product that you want to sell or service that you want to provide, how many people want it, whether it's scalable. So can I do this, but can I do it over and over and over again? What are the costs associated with the business? What's the sales approach that I'm going to take? What's the personnel plan? How does that contribute to the overall success of the business? What is the business's actual operation? So you have people working in the business, but what do these people do? What time do they come to work? What do they contribute to the overall operation of the business? So these are all plans that are things that oftentimes it goes over our head. We don't see why they're important. We don't see how they contribute, but they're really important.
Financial projections. You don't want to do that by yourself. And the other thing, having been through it, the other thing that's important about the business plan writer, especially for me, was that you have an objective look at your plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be like, this is great, and I am going to succeed. And the plan writer is going to go, there's a problem here. You kind of suck at this.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you go, oh, I guess I might need
Right. But to add, for individuals that do want to prepare their own plans on the pre-funding team, we do have business reviewers that take a look at it, like Chester mentioned, that objective view and say, well, these are some areas for improvement. Maybe you need to consider this or that expense to be included in your financial projections, things like that. So even if you want to do it on your own, we do provide review services as well.
Don't write your own plan.
All right. So there are actual companies that are out there doing this. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So tell us about what you all do at A Squared SBDC. So as a head of pre-funding and a business analyst, let's talk about what your roles are.
Sure.
Lisa, you want to start?
Yeah. So as a business analyst, sounds like a very general term. And some of what I do is quite wide encompassing, but my main focus as an analyst is to leverage the data that we have and that we collect on our clients, whether that's economic impact data or people who are coming in through the front door saying, I need this particular service, see how best we can use our resources to meet those services and those needs. Okay. And in the department that I work in, which is the funding department, once you come through our flagship program, the guaranteed loan program, I tell everybody I'm going to be your best friend. I'm going to be communicating with our funding partners to ensure that the request that you're making, whether it's for equity or debt or even for a grant, that you are best positioned to get that approved. Okay. So it's not always going to be a favorable outcome, but once we're in tight communication, we're providing the information that's necessary. It's going to be a very positive journey. I'll say that.
Okay. All right. Did you have to interact with Mr. Robards over here?
Yes, we're getting.
we interact.
Yes.
Stay on my business.
All right. All right. And Kenron, tell us about pre-funding.
Well, pre-funding is primarily concerned with business development, so educational development and business development. So our team is primarily responsible for everything from when the client walks through the door to when we pass them over to Alicia and the external financial institutions. But we manage the client's progress through the program. We handle the reviews, the review process. We manage the business plan writer program. We manage the biker voucher program. We also are responsible for the educational platform management. So making sure that the actual educational pathways are built out, fully functional, and also just managing the client experience. So, sometimes people have challenges, maybe getting onto the platform, maybe understanding exactly where in the overall process they start. Our team also oversees that dimension as well.
You mentioned the biker voucher program. Is that for already funded individuals or also people who are still putting their plans together?
It's actually for both.
Oh, okay.
So one of our underpinning missions in the Access Accelerator, yes, we provide access to funding. Yes, we do training, but overall, our main mission is to nurture entrepreneurship, no matter what that looks like, no matter where that stands. So we want to provide programming, but also access to services that actually add value to both startups and existing businesses.
Right. BICA is Bahamas Institute of Chartered Accountants.
I remember.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if everybody else.
Right. Yes. Thank you.
We're here throwing around these.
That's true. That is very true. All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to find out about the digital skills training module and what that's all about. That's after the break. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Growing up as a kid, I always had an interest and passion for animals. Access Accelerator was able to afford us the opportunity to turn a vision into a reality. Not just farm, but create a business. And then Berkshire Bahamas Farms was birthed. So the Berkshire, they're black pigs with upright ears, and they have like white socks on their feet. So we'll have two different types of products. We'll have the full breed Berkshires, and then we'll also have the crossbred. And of course, the Berkshires will have a higher price tag on it. And animals have feelings too. We have a philosophy of happy until harvest. Outside of the pigs for pork, the chickens for eggs, we also have a community aspect where people can come out, do farm tours throughout the week. Schools, they bring the students out, they can learn about where their food comes from. One of the main customers of ours is Flying Fish Gastro Bar. They get our product and they turn it into a meal on their table. So the farm to table aspect works very well. Working with Access Accelerator has been a blessing. After Hurricane Dorian and being in the middle of COVID-19, we were able to add funding for construction to build our pen that we have, purchased a lot of property that we're using. We were able to source a farm truck and tools with the training that we're able to use to better our finances and business plan. So the overall goal for Berkshire Bahamas Farms is to, one, be able to feed our people and to inspire others to understand that let's be able to source our own food.
We're back here with Morning Glen Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. This morning we are talking with A Squared SBDC. And we've got Alicia Murphy, Business Analyst, and Kenron Braynen, Head of Pre-Funding. And we've been talking about a lot of the exciting things going on at the Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center. Again, A Squared SBDC. All right, so you've got a digital skills training module. Tell us about that. What exactly is that?
Digital skills training, a very, very important thing for all entrepreneurs. So some people may say, well, I use WhatsApp, I use Facebook Marketplace, I send out my ads on Facebook. That should be enough.
Don't you see my TikToks?
Sometimes that may not be enough.
Oh.
Understanding why, again, our set series,
Right.
why you're doing it and the purpose of what you're trying to achieve through your digital skills, whether that's marketing, e-commerce, anything else of the sort, we want to prepare you for that. So our next digital skills series session that was started yesterday is about e-commerce. So you want to know how to best market your items, best pricing, understanding the costs associated with e-commerce as well. So every Monday and Wednesday, 6 to 9 p.m., we're going to have digital skills training sessions. So these are all virtual. You can do them between, again, hours of 6 to 9, but be sure to sign up. That's the most important part. So these series, they run occasionally. The next one, of course, is e-commerce. That's happening now, and the next will be accounting. So if there's something or one of the digital skills, some training series that you want to sit in and get some information on, you may not need to take everything in for all, but find that one that you want to get onto. Look out on our social media platforms, reach out to our customer service team and figure out when those dates are and make sure you sign up for those.
From what you're seeing, do we grasped? Do we understand e-commerce here? Are some people doing it better than others?
I think it's growing, especially since the pandemic. We've seen a big shift from actual in-person business happening. A lot of things are happening e-commerce wise. So there's a lot to learn because the industry continues to grow. It continues to change. So you always want to be on top of the latest skills, the latest technology that you can use to maximize and leverage.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. Even some of the big stores are missing the mark on e-commerce here.
Well, that's why we offer the services
There
to
you
them.
go. Yeah.
So what do you have to do to be a part of it? Is there a fee? Is there
No fee associated. All of these sessions are free.
Wow.
Simply go into our website, accessaccelerator.org, and you can find out.
Do you ever see any of the big guys in there? Do they, or they're too?
They don't send their people.
Well, we never know. We really don't pry into privacy
okay.
things, but
Alright.
we encourage everybody to sign.
Yeah. So why do you say that, Chester? What are you thinking that you're seeing out there that people are like, no, this is not quite right?
Well, I tried to buy something on someone's website recently, and the and the product was not in stock. So
But it claimed
my
it
payment went
unsighted.
through,
Oh,
and I guess everything went according to plan, and then afterwards I got an email saying we don't have the item, or we canceled your order, and then it wasn't in stock. So like, why is it on the website?
Right. So that's one of those growing pains that we address in our session. So one of those is challenges that arises when you're doing e-commerce. So things like that, where you're not managing your inventory virtually.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that you get all those skills from our session that's going on right now on e-commerce.
See, that's a very important one.
yeah. I mean, sometimes even the big international players have those issues once in a while. But you don't have to fall into those pits, right? Yeah. All right. What's been the reaction so far?
So
to
far,
what
we've
you've
been
got?
getting a lot of good feedback. Our first 2 sessions have been quite full, and this one I believe is quite full as well. So you really got to keep an eye out for it. Get those early signups. When we put our things on Facebook, Instagram, wherever it may be, we want you guys to sign up. Don't say, well, I'm going to do it next week, or I'm going to try for the last week to see if everything's open. There are a lot of people that have their eyes on Access Accelerator. So you want to make sure that you're the first whenever we have any offerings.
So you all have a session on procrastination too? That's a rough one.
Oh man, through our set series based on the different things that we go through, you never know, it may be addressed.
Well, yeah.
Wow. And again, how many can you accommodate?
Virtually for digital skills training. The capacity, I can't say, but we do put notifications out there when we're almost at capacity and when we're full. So like I say, it's always important to get that early insight. Even if you begin an application, you can always save your progress and come back to it.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. So this is for you, Chester. This text, someone says, yeah, this happened to me with eBay. I got messed up like 5 times this year, 5 times. Well, it's a little bit different with eBay though, because you're dealing with,
Well,
although you're still,
party, sometimes
right.
people-
So, but yeah, if they've taken these courses, they
Right,
might be able to
beneficial.
handle it much better. Yeah. All right. So what other advice would you give to people out there who are thinking about taking the plunge? They are, I've had this idea for this business for all these years. It is my time now. Prices are getting higher. I need to supplement my income. This is it. What do they need to be doing? You talked about that business plan already.
I would say do it. But do it soberly, because entrepreneurship is definitely not for everyone. This was actually one of the questions that came up last night. Whether entrepreneurship generally is for everybody.
Why is it not for everybody?
Because there are some days, there are up days. There are fantastic moments when you're flying high and everything is working the way that it's supposed to. And then there are days when things aren't quite going right. There may be weeks where things don't quite go right. There are challenges upon challenges that you face. And if you're not the kind of person that can function in a little bit of chaos, entrepreneurship may not necessarily be for you. But definitely, if you have the passion, if you have the drive, if there's a problem in the market that you realize that you think you have an answer to, it's worth exploring. And the thing of it is, you're not a failure until you give up. So I think that is the true pioneering spirit that entrepreneurs possess, that they never give up. They always find a way.
Yeah. We've seen it. People will do things on the side and their friends will tell them, oh, you're amazing. You need to do this. You need to go into business for this. And they are gassed up essentially by their friends. How risky is that? How dangerous is that to think that because your circle is a big fan of this,
I'll say that support is crucial to continuing on, but an important thing is to look at yourself as an entrepreneur, like Kenron had mentioned. A question that oftentimes we see when we have sessions with the public is, when do you know when to pivot and when do you know when to stop?
Wow.
That really varies on a case-by-case basis. So I'd say an important aspect of taking that entrepreneurship journey is doing your research. And when you do your research, even if it's in putting together your plan or maybe just writing down a few notes and tips about what you're going to do over a period of time, you really want to know and understand, at what point do I say I've done and I've used all the resources that I've had? When do I say I need to put this down, take a break, maybe regroup, maybe pivot my business idea? Maybe I'm doing things in person and it's costly. I need to go digital. I need to do some e-commerce stuff. So it's about having that plan and that structure. So the business plan is formally putting that out there, but even in the early stages, as you launch and as you continue to go, because some people, they just dive into it. You want to start documenting what you're doing and do your research. Very, very important.
If I may add to that, I think the other thing is, like Alicia said, building in that resilience is something that you can build into the business from day one. So what we try to do when we help clients to build business plans or to build their ideas is actually look at, okay, this may be a core focus, but what are the other things that we can build around the same business or product or service that you can leverage to kind of help underpin the business? So you may be someone that has a storefront selling cakes, for example. Is there a way that we can get you to put your cakes in somebody else's storefront? So trying to find those alternative means or methods of actually building this resilience into your business on day one,
as opposed to going it on your own.
Exactly.
Yeah, minimizing that risk there. Why aren't people thinking more like that? Is it distrust? Is it
Well, I would say
cutting
that
out the middleman?
it may be the approach. So traditionally, especially here in the Bahamas, most people, they want a storefront. They want to fill their store with items. They want to have people coming through the door. There's so much that goes into that. So there's that inventory that you have to manage. You have to pay your staff. You have to manage your overhead costs. That may not be the right business model for you as an entrepreneur. Like Kenron mentioned, you may be producing these goods and you may have them in another person's store. We see a lot of that with candle businesses here in the Bahamas. They may not necessarily have a storefront, but they may maximize from different fairs, different partnerships with other larger brands and larger stores. So you have to find a way to do what you want to do in a sensible and practical way. I think that's important. So you can't always just dive into it with a storefront, all these other logistics you have to manage. This important thing is scaling. So you really have to scale your business.
It's interesting that people still want storefronts. I think, yeah, I feel like, I don't know if it's just me. Clearly it is because people want storefronts. But I feel like e-commerce is like the way to go. Like I could be at home managing my inventory and find some driver company that will deliver these things, especially on a small island, to whomever buys it, right?
Right.
That,
So that works in some capacity, but I think the important thing is understanding your market. So that's a part of doing that research. In the Bahamas, we have a lot of people who aren't necessarily so tech savvy. So with our digital screening, we provide them with some of that information and that insight. You have some people who are very traditional. They want to go into a store, see and feel a product before they spend their money. So you have to find a way to meet all of these different needs. So like we mentioned, that could be a little bit of e-commerce as well as having that in someone else's store, even incorporating some delivery when you can. So again, finding that niche for your business, the way you need to operate and being very, very scalable.
I'm still floored. The people still want to carry cash. That's just me.
We're getting a few text messages. You can send those, folks, 422-4796 or tweet us at morningblend969 or text us 422-4796. I think I just said that one, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. So somebody's here asking, is it about networking with other stores? Is that a challenge? I'm not sure if I understand the question too much, but maybe you will too.
I would say that it isn't. I think as much as people think that it is, because just in with my team and the work that we do, we have seen that there are a lot of big brand stores here that are willing to hold product, sell product on behalf of smaller companies. So it's about networking, yes, but it's also about the entrepreneur or the producer, the product, the service producer actually going out and seeking alternative distribution methods for their business.
But that's the other benefit of A Squared, right? Because you guys kind of connect people and businesses, especially businesses that you funded to help them get those things done.
Right. So for example, we have a client that was funded, I believe, sometime around the end of last year, and they have a major distribution deal with an international company. So they bring in the goods, but this client does not have a storefront. They have their products in all of the major stores here. So that's the way they set up their business model, running very successfully even prior to joining us and getting their funding. But they have maintained always being available in other stores. They don't have a storefront.
Right. So, I mean, you said it. So that you all will help people because some people can't communicate or are shy or won't be able to sell their product well. So they will need some assistance.
Yeah. So I'll kind of jump in there with one of the things that we've been working on. It's an internal project that we've been working on, led by our head of post funding, and it's creating an ecosystem. So for clients that have been funded already. So for example, if there's a food and beverage business that needs paper products, if we have a company that sells or creates paper products, then those two clients are connected and you purchase your paper products from this particular company. In the same way, if there is a service that another company that's in the ecosystem actually can use or can benefit from, we make the connection between those two businesses.
That's wonderful. So are people able to see that list, or is that public?
Well, usually we try to do whenever we have any public engagement, we try to broadcast our clients. So for example, at our set series last night, we had some of our clients in-house providing products to those who attended in person. And as the series continues, we want to continue to have our clients out there like that. So whether it's a showcase, whether it's some public session that we may have, we always try to push our clients out there. And you can see those synergy projects as you review our set series.
Wonderful. All right. So, okay, we're running out of time. Someone was asking all the contacts. Can we get contacts for everybody, please?
Sure. For Access Accelerator, I know it's fading away, but we want you guys to be engaged as much as possible. So on the phone line, very easy, 461-SBDC. We want you guys to give us a call. We do have WhatsApp available as well, 359-0626 or 359-2394. And we also have an email help desk where you can send an email, put in a ticket. That is helpdesk@sbdcbahamas.com. We're also available on all the major platforms, social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Okay, and that's everything right there. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking with you this morning, Alicia Murphy and Kenron Braynen. Thank you. As always, the series is wonderful, talking with you all twice a month from A Squared SBDC, and we look forward to later in the month. Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break and then be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
At Western Union, we have different sending options.